Yay! Finally. Hello everyone. I don't know if you're on and you guys are there. Finally. I'll just wait a couple of seconds, see if anybody's on.
It's not coming on.
What do you mean? Well, it should be. Well, it says it's live. It's 30 seconds. Yep. There you go. Someone's there.
Oh, there it is.
Takes a few seconds.
Yeah.
Hi, Jesse. Comfortable here. Yeah, this. I should get a cushion here. Make me more comfortable.
You know that they can hear you when you're.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. It's live. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Dane. Hi, Meg. And 777 subscribes.
It's better than 666.
Better than 666, says Marty. Hi, Sierra. Hi, Sherry. I'll just say hello to everybody when they come on, and then we'll get into some stuff. Yeah. Had a late one last night, so it's just a little there. Yeah. So good day. Yeah, we had a group last night. Hi, Deborah. Is that Deborah from San Diego? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hi there. Hope you're doing good. Deborah's hubby died, so he's come through and spoke to her a few times.
And we met him before he died.
And we met him before he died. She brought him to a group, and then after he died, that's it. I thought it was you. Yeah, it helped him apparently. He became a believer. Is that right, Debbie? Before he died? Deborah, I mean. If I remember. Well, like I said, we did a group last night. It was a nice group, and it went very well. Had an 86-year-old man there with his wife, and his son, who died about 50 years ago, came through. He told me he died on a motorcycle. Hi, Becky. I know you too, don't I? Becky McDonald.
Yeah, she's the one we're calling today.
Oh yeah, we're going to call you after. After we're done now, we'll talk to you. We'll call. Yeah, so that's right. He said he wasn't a believer. That's great. I'm really pleased about that. That was awesome. Yeah, so this guy last night, 86 years old, sat right in front of me in the front row, and his son came through. Adele, oh, I can't pronounce your name. Adelantado. Hi there. Adelantado, I guess that's how you say it. Yeah, his son died on a motorcycle. I think he'd been drinking, and he came in. He said it's his fault, and it was pretty cool. This old guy probably waited 50-something years, about 50 years, to say hello to his son. Had a lady there too last night whose two siblings. She's from her family's from where is it? Cambodia. And she was born here, but her two siblings came in and said hello to her, who died of starvation in Cambodia before she was born. And her father came with them, and I think his name was Long. So I almost got the name exact. I thought it was Long.
No.
What did I say?
No, her father's name was Han.
Oh, Han, that's
and
right.
You got hung.
I thought his
Hong.
name Hung. Well, his name was Hong.
It was her uncle that was Long.
Oh, that's right. Her uncle Long also showed up as well.
You said Luong.
I thought it was like Luong, but his name was just Long.
And then you said what you
Oh
said.
yeah, and he joked. He said, "Yeah, a long time no see." So we had a good night last night. I usually do the groups for 2.5, sometimes 3 hours, which is a very long time. Most mediums only do it for maybe an hour, if that. So I thought I'd just talk about stuff, follow up maybe from last time. I think there's only 15 people on Love on a Sunday. Oh well. You know, crazy, isn't it? 12,000 followers nearly, and on Twitter, and only like 15 people, 16 people show up. It's kind of crazy.
You need to do it like regularly.
Well, I'm trying to on a Sunday. Marty's complaining. I don't do it regularly enough. But anyway, whatever. She's my best critic. I'll have to get you to do what you did the other night with the hip thing. Hi, Wendy. I'm sort of just waiting to see if more people get on a little bit. While we're waiting, anybody got any questions or things you'd like to say or ask while we're just waiting a minute? Anybody? You're the most important ones. That's right, sunshine. The select few. Yeah, I guess so, Deborah. Yeah, I guess so. I guess people don't watch YouTube, I guess. It's really it's almost a TV channel on its own right now. They're doing so much on YouTube, so I've got to really get into it. Have we met you, Wendy? Have we ever like met you or done anything with you, like sessions? Well, think of some then, Dane, because right now I'm here. A lot of people ask me questions on Twitter. They message me. I'd rather them ask the question in directly. Publicly, you know, so I can answer the question for everyone. Oh yeah, I do, and we connect with many animals that have come in. I saw an animal last night. I saw a dog, a Labrador, sitting next to a lady, and it wasn't hers, but the dog really liked her a lot, and it was her friend's dog, I think, and it was just, I suppose, a lab sitting there in front of you, looking up at you with its tail wagging, and it was her friend's lab, but she liked it. Can you not make noise, love?
I'm trying not to.
Well, when you're doing it yourself, it's always more difficult, I think, if you're trying to connect with somebody. I always find it difficult to connect with people I know more than strangers, because you know them so well, and it's hard to know. You know, am I just wanting it to happen? Am I just imagining it? You know. Do animals? I'm sure she is, Wendy, but I'm not doing mediumship right now. I'm too tired.
We also don't do it.
I don't do it on I have never really done it like this on YouTube yet. I may in the near future. I may do it, but yeah, I'm very tired right now from last night, so I'm just thought I'd just have a chat with you guys. Well, that's right. Your emotions get in the way. And do animals' souls go to a different place? There is, just like the animal kingdom. Yeah, there is. It is a sort of a separate realm where the animals go, and but you can have the animal with you in the humans realms when we go over, if you wish. Marty, you've got to get on because the messages are disappearing, so I can't see them all. Yeah, I don't know. It comes up and then it fades away, so I can't even get time to read the messages. I don't have my computer set up. I can't get it set up properly so I can look at them on my computer. So I'll have to wait until the messages come up. If you just say hi or something, it comes up. Yeah, I can't even scroll them down. Someone was asking about some...
I was just going to answer that.
Well...
Yeah, we have... Well, you can tell them that they have to have police involved with any missing persons or open
Yeah,
cases.
if it's about a missing person case, we really have to have the police involved in the investigation, because they know things that nobody else knows. Why do spirits stay earthbound? People stay earthbound for the same reasons that they get stuck in life. They're afraid. They're they feel guilty about things. They're angry. All the sort of negative things that cause people to get stuck in life. Not move forward, not live their life. Same reasons when you die. If you're afraid that you'll be judged, or you're afraid that or you feel guilty about something that you did and you don't want to face the consequences, all that kind of stuff can lead a person to not go where they're supposed to go. But the biggest reason, I think, is... One sec. I'm just going to adjust this up a little bit. There we go. I just want to adjust that a little bit. So the biggest reason is that they don't believe in it. You see, if you die and you don't believe in anything, you can be like mentally blind, and your mind will simply not accept what is right there in front of you. You won't be able to see it because your belief system stops you from seeing it. So when you die, if you whatever it is that you strongly, absolutely have concreted around yourself in your mind, acts as a barrier or a block, and that can also prevent you from moving forward spiritually when you cross over, becoming more aware. Can someone just say hi or something, or type something, because it's disappeared off the screen? I can't see it.
How do you get over the kid Catholic guilt?
How do you get over Catholic guilt? Yeah, that's a whole trip on its own, isn't it? That's one of the big ways in which they trap people in religion. The whole guilt trip thing, I was raised a Catholic. I never had a guilt trip because I wasn't afraid. You see.
Is it true that when spirits know that you can see them, that more might come around?
Yeah, if you're more aware of people that are on the other side in the spirit world, then you're more likely to be to have connections. Of course, it's like if you spoke another language, somebody's gonna say, hey, he speaks French. Can you help out here? Can you know? Is there anything that I'm afraid of? Me personally?
Me?
Marty or what?
No, you're afraid of me.
No. Well, let's put it this way. I haven't encountered it yet, but there are forces that I don't know. You know, there's probably places on the lower realms I wouldn't fancy going. And if I did go there, I certainly would want to go there with spirit guides or people that knew what they were doing, because you know, that's a bit like saying, when you join the army, are you afraid? Or join the air force, are you afraid? Well, not at first, but you may see action that would test you to the limit. Let's put it that way. Be like that. Well, I'm just sort of answering questions at the moment. There's a... Oh, God, it's disappearing again. I don't know what... there is a known psychic around my parts that claims she knows the moment she meets someone when they will die, but she won't tell anyone. Oh. That's like, I know things, but I'm not going to tell you. Oh, anyone can say that, can't they?
Where's the proof?
Where's the proof of that? Where's the evidence of that? You know what? There's a lot of people out there that claim a lot of things, but they're not tested, are they? Well, that's nice. If you've got nice spirits in the house, that's good. Well, we have a whole 20 people on, love. I don't think I'm going to do it very long today. I'll do another live thing. Hey, hi, Michael.
Oh,
There's a blast from the past. Michael Bonanno. Michael did our website. The little cat
thing.
That was one of our cats. So he does animation. Michael's got into animation. I'd be afraid she is the one killing them. I don't know what that's about. Bonanno. There we go. Bonanno. Bonanno. It's Michael Bonanno. Did I say it right now, Michael?
It's like banana with an O at the end.
Bonanno.
Banano.
It's not banana, it's banano. Not banana, it's banano.
Yes, we got no bananas.
We got no bananas. I guess we lost a few people. People got off.
What was that thing?
It means good year in Italian. Oh. Hey, that's a good name to have then, huh? Good year all your life. Ashley, hi.
Michael wanted to know what music that we play in the headphones.
Well, you do now. I don't listen to music anymore. I never really needed to listen to the music before I did what I do. It was more of a kind of a comfort thing for me, you know, just to give me, I suppose, I thought I needed it, let's put it that way. But I realised I don't, so I don't need the music anymore. Marty listens to the music. She listens to...
I've listened to the same music.
Well, what is it?
For 20 years.
They want to know what it is.
It's sort of like a Native American, but modernized.
It's... Besides trial and error, how do you find a reputable psychic? Well, yeah, it is a lot of trial and error. All of the people that come to us come referrals, and 90% of them. Their friend tells them, a family member tells them. What's that? Modernized? What's modernized,
But
Michael?
my music, it's not really
Yeah,
Native American.
it's a current. It's not old-fashioned Native American. It's a mixture. It's modern. I don't have the title of the
I can't
music.
remember.
Can't remember the band. I'll have to look it up and post it. But yeah,
I'll look it up.
she'll look it up. There you go. Marty will go look it up. New, okay. New AG then. Favorite place I've investigated. That's a good question. You know, we don't do a lot of investigations, Ashley. We only really do it now and then. We've actually we've done a lot more than I realise, but we don't do it any, like, we haven't done any for like a
We
year
like
or so.
Stanley. Or Queen Mary. Queen Mary's.
Queen Mary.
one of
Queen
our-
Mary's
our
good.
favorite places.
Well, there's some other places I can think of. Trying to think. I'll have to think about that. I don't know if I've got a favourite place.
What was that jail that we went to? I liked that because
Oh, back east.
Buffy's uncle came through, remember?
Oh, yeah. We did an investigation at a prison back east. Ah, where's Jimmy? Is it okay to keep your pet's ashes? Yes. Where's Jimmy Hoffa buried? There's a good one. Jimmy Hoffa showed up when we were doing session for a lady whose husband is deceased, and he was good friends with Hoffa.
I drew him.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. And Marty drew Jimmy Hoffa, so he posed for her, and she says, "Oh, that's Jimmy Hoffa." So I said, her husband had told her that he knew what had happened to Hoffa, that his body was put in the trunk of a car, and like he'd been shot. He was put in the trunk of a car, taken somewhere. Now, her husband thought that Hoffa was in the trunk of the car, and they put the car in the car crusher. So that's what happened to the car, apparently. They put it in a car crusher. But whether Hoffa was still in the car when they did that, or whether they burned his body in an incinerator first, I'm not sure her husband knew the full facts. She told us that he did, that he knew what had happened. But there's a little bit of dispute out there about that, because some other mobsters who have the full story on it say that he was taken from the car, put in and incinerated in a place. So, but he's not in a freeway. He's not buried anywhere. His body's gone. You're never going to find Hoffa's body. It's gone. So it's one of them two things. Either he was still in the car and they put it in the car crusher, or his body was taken out and incinerated, and I believe this car was still put in the car crusher. So that's what we know about. I reckon you're right. We should have our own show. I think it'd be pretty good. Yep. Well, you can tell them what I told you, because, you know, that's what we found out from Hoffa. There was a few other questions, but like I said, I can't see it on the screen, on my screen. Do they care about funerals? Actually, they're very curious. You know, a lot of people show up at their funeral because they just want to see who came to their funeral, I think, sometimes. They're just curious, you know, how... I think they're just fascinated and just, you know... And also they want to try and connect with some people there and make them feel better, you know, energetically. Whether they can feel them see them or hear them, I doubt, but they usually can feel people. Yeah, there's a lot of people put off of this kind of stuff from bad experiences. We've had to help a few people in the past, non-believers because of others. Kind of bring them back into the fold, as it were, make them believers again. You have a funeral tomorrow? Well, I'll talk to you after you're gone then. Oh, not you. Oh. Someone else, huh? Yeah, you know, a lot of people ask about Ouija boards. I wouldn't touch them if I were you. I would stay away from them. I don't use Ouija boards. I'm never using a Ouija board. Ever. Don't need it. There's other tools out there, I think, better than a Ouija, you know.
We can't trust what they say.
Hi, Kitty. Do we protect ourselves? Yes. Protection is love. Love and absolute positivity. We have guides that protect us as well, you know. Well, you know, guys, a lot of people, they get on Twitter, or mostly Twitter, because that's where I am on the most. And they're always asking me, do you see my dad around? Do you see my mum around? No, I'm not. I'm not like in the spirit world all the time. I'm just not. There are people out there, they claim to be so in touch, you know. Oh my God, they're surrounded by spirits 24 hours a day. And I think, oh, you're telling porky pies. You're telling lies, you know. I just don't believe it. You know. Do you believe in aliens? Absolutely. Of course there are aliens. All the governments in the world have been hiding this forever. In fact, in the 90s, the French government openly said that they exist. The Ministry of Defense for France publicly stated, not just France, but 2 other countries, that flying saucers are extraterrestrial and nothing to do with us. So there you are. The Americans know, the British know, all of them, all of these governments know that they exist. Absolute fact. It's been known for decades and decades and decades. They knew in the early 50s, and probably even before that, actually. So yeah, extraterrestrials, many different races, have been visiting Earth. They have bases on Earth too, so there have been extraterrestrials on Earth for millions of years. We're not the only ones here. We're just unaware of them. It's similar to us. Yeah, your questions are all over the place. So I have a lot of family members. I couldn't read it. It disappeared.
Do you think aliens look like us?
The ones in our solar system do. And a lot of other races do look humanoid. But there are races, there's a race of beings that look like cats. They look like cats. But you have to realize, sorry. Yeah, there are. Oh, I don't even know how many races. There's just.
Think of how big the universe
Think how big the
is.
universe is. Millions of galaxies. And in each galaxy there are millions of stars. I mean, you can't even imagine how many races there are. I would say pretty much all the races visiting Earth are friendly or benign. They won't harm us. And if they do come here, um, some of them are unaware of us in the way that we're unaware of some insects or whatever, or bacteria. Our presence would kill them, but we wouldn't realize that we were doing them harm because we were unaware of them. And so there are aliens that have come here sometimes, and they're so different, they simply don't know we exist or are unaware of us. And if they were to change our world, we would all perish. And they just wouldn't be aware of it. And so there's intervention that takes place by the beings within our solar system who are very advanced. And they're big. They're like 8 feet, 9 feet tall. And they protect us.
Lots of good questions. Where did they?
Well, don't go into space, Ashley. That's the rule.
Where
Don't
did
become an astronaut.
Michael,
What?
that's a good question.
What?
Where do the aliens go when they cross?
Well, they don't. Yeah, where do aliens go when they cross? Well, where are they now? They're on the higher realms. The higher realms, you guys have to realize, are more real than the physical plane that we're on. This physical plane isn't. You've got to read these things, love.
Okay.
Yeah, these remarks, because
I can spell that.
Well, you've got to get on. Do it.
You don't tell me.
Oh, God. Look, the physical plane seems very real to us, right? Everybody thinks this is it. And that when you die, it's more kind of ethereal. It's more like nebulous, like... but no, I can't read all the questions and think about what I'm saying here. I've got to answer one question at a time. Yeah, people's ideas about what is real and what isn't, what's more real, what all these questions take a long time for people to put together. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle, and you have to put it together, right? When we die, this physical body drops off us. It's not us. This body is it's like a car. You're in a car. When you die, you don't go, oh, I like that car, A loaner vehicle. Well, it's a little more than that, because all the atoms of your body you've brought together, and the atoms that you had in former lives, that made up bodies in former lives, you can draw those atoms to you to make a finer body. So each time you reincarnate, you can build a finer and finer body. One more attuned to your to allow you to express yourself in a higher frequency. Let's put it that way. Which is why burying bodies, even though in a way it's a good idea, I think, because look at the history you can learn from a buried body. But that's why the Buddhists and other religions, Hindus, burn the body to free the atoms from the body so that you can reuse those atoms that you had. I can't talk about Bigfoot at the moment. It's a question there. You can reuse those atoms, you see, because they're freed up. Because you've burned it. It's out in the environment again. But the bones, you see, they can last, oh my gosh, like tens of thousands of years or longer. you don't have access to those atoms that were in the bones of a previous body, you see. So, so that's a good thing cremation does, is it frees up the atoms for you to reuse them in a future life. Now, most of the extraterrestrials live on higher planes. The same planes that people, your relatives, live on when they die, only much higher, much, much higher. And all the planets have higher realms around them. And the ones inside this solar system, around Mars and Venus and Jupiter and Saturn, all these planets, Neptune, Pluto, they all have higher realms around them with extraterrestrials, you know, higher beings that live on those realms. They do have physical presence on most of the planets, but so advanced are the structures, and they can hide them too. They can put protective shields around them, make them invisible to us. So there's a lot of the moon. Moon has bases all over it. They've been photographed. Some of the structures are thousands of feet high. They're immense. There are ancient structures on the moon, built millions of years ago, when Atlantis and Lemuria existed, when the human race had to vacate Earth after atomic wars and things like that. So these domed cities that exist on the moon, the remnants of them, they're made of glass. And here's an interesting fact for you. If you build glass, make glass in a vacuum, it's many, many times stronger than steel. So if you're making a glass dome several feet thick, you know, miles across, miles high and miles across on the moon, you have almost an impregnable, you know, it could probably survive small meteorite strikes. Plus you'd have force fields set up as well. So there's immensely strong structures. And apparently the Chinese and the Americans know all about these. This is why they went to the moon, to examine these ancient structures that were on the moon, you see, from way, way back, to find out what they could about these structures. That's the only reason they went to the moon. Anyway, that's enough about that. Yeah, Neil Armstrong, yeah. Isn't it funny that he never talked to Neil? He never talked about his experiences. Probably one of the most famous people on the planet, you know, the only person from a handful of people that actually stood on the moon in apparently all of human history, and he hardly ever talked about it. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, very, very odd. Yeah, he did keep it secret. A lot of secrets have been kept. So there were some other questions people had, but I didn't catch them all. Bigfoot. Yeah, I mean, Bigfoot exists. Our friend in Washington, who's a woodsman, has seen it twice. And he's a tracker. Like, he could track any animal. You know, he could tell you how long a bear had been walked there. You know, this bear was there an hour ago, and this puma was there, you know, following the bear and tracking this deer. I mean, this guy could, and he's seen it twice, so I've no doubt they exist. Will our souls retain the lessons we've learned? Yes. You retain everything, but whether you remember it all consciously is another matter. That's right. There's the human race. We know so little about what's really going on this planet. It's crazy. I mean, that doesn't exist, or we don't. Yeah. Rubbish. There's so many idiots out there that think they know everything. They don't know anything. There's a lot of look at all the speed. Look at this show that's on where they're claiming species are extinct, and this guy's going around and finding them, proving that they still exist, and finding new species that nobody even knew existed. So yeah, skeptics. Yeah, skeptics. What are skeptics? Little-minded people. Small minds. Little closed minds.
Well, you gotta.
Oh, here we go. My critic.
You have to distinguish between skeptic and cynic.
Cynics. Yeah, they're more cynics.
It's good to be skeptical.
Yeah, okay, good. Right. I'll get you on the camera next. Come and show him your shirt.
I don't have any makeup on.
Oh, see, she doesn't want to be on camera. I don't have my makeup on. I'm not ready. I don't look right. Says I could be a morning person if morning started around noon. Oh, tough. You're on. There we go. How can I reach my spirit guide? Well, you have to learn to meditate. Are there such things as accidents? No, I don't think there are any accidents, really. I don't believe in accidents, because if there were accidents, chance, that would mean that the universe wasn't perfect, and I believe the universe is perfect. I think every single atom in existence is predetermined path. I don't believe in chance at all. I think everything is absolutely perfectly controlled. People have no idea of the depth, the incredible minds of some of the most incredible beings that exist in this universe. I mean, do you think the sun is simply some gaseous blob out there in space that's keeping all these planets in the solar system in existence? Because if the sun blinked out, all these worlds in its orbit would turn into cold, dark masses with hardly any activity at all, except from cosmic ray bombardment from outside the solar system. They'd be lifeless hunks of rock. The sun is in existence and is the home, the body of vast intelligences, lords of the sun. These beings, the earth is alive, that's right. The earth is a living intelligence. It is a consciousness. So are the lords of the sun are the greatest beings in the solar system. The Bible references them. These are the greatest being, the lords, the greatest beings in the solar system are the lords of the sun. If you're a sun worshipper, worship being a word, let's see, worship doesn't mean the same thing to me. If you
honor,
if you revere someone or some being, it's because you understand to a limited degree just how magnificent they are, just how incredible they are. So if you were to revere the sun for what it truly is, the God, the highest known God you could imagine is a sun. You can't imagine something greater than that. You really can't. If you were to honor the sun and send your love to the sun and thank the sun, the lords of the sun, for all existence within the solar system, you would, if you sent your love to the sun, so sun worship, highest form of worship you can have on earth. Highest, there is no higher. You can, you can go further than that. You can worship or send your love to the galaxy, and then you can send your love to the lords of creation, and then you can send your love to the absolute. You can, if you can think, if you can hold the concept in your mind that the being that created the entire universe, that which is non-existent in the universe but is behind it, if you could hold your mind on that and send your love to that which created all, the love you would get in return would be manifold greater. And it's the same thing when you send your love energy and your gratitude to any being greater than yourself, you will get the energy back, return manifold. I'm also spirit guide confused. I get confused with spirits, whether it's vodka or whiskey.
I'll guide you through it.
Marty will guide you through it.
No, I'll guide you through your
Yeah,
spirits.
ancient civilizations were way more advanced than us. You know, they could store sunlight in crystals back then. They could do things. They had interplanetary travel and you know, interstellar travel, to a limited degree, but mostly within the.
I have a problem with one thing that you said.
Marty has a problem with something I said. Okay.
The thing that everything is preordained.
It is.
But then you also say that a suicide
No,
messes
no,
up everything.
No. Well, it does, but it's still no. Everything is
I think
preordained.
there's choices.
I don't care what Marty thinks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I think. All right. Well,
there's different ways you can
you
go.
think what you like.
There's a main plan.
All right. Whatever. What you're saying is, well, there's little oopsies here
Not
and there and there.
oopsies.
What then? What is it?
Choices.
No. Well, it's choices. Choices are different. If you're choosing,
if you choose
I'm
this
not going to
way-
argue with you on here, Marty. Not going to argue with you on here. God, this is what I put up with. My troublemaker. Yeah. If you really think things through, everything has to be not part of the plan, but there has to be. There are no mistakes, in a way. Not really. Not if you really think things out. There's something to be learned from everything that happens, so I just don't believe in mistakes. Hi, Chris. Yeah, the sun is hardly ever visible to you guys out there. That's my brother on there.
In England.
In England, yeah. Yes, of course. When you say, can your dog hear you? Yes, I mean, it's telepathy. Even if you talk, you're thinking it. You have to think before you speak. Whether you are aware of it or not, you're thinking, and your thoughts move your body. You're thinking. You're not the thinker. You're not thought. You are a soul that has a mind, and the mind is energy. So you move energy, which is thought. You project thought. So if your thoughts are full of love and then they're more powerful. And of course, if an animal can respond to that, a spirit animal, there's so many misunderstandings out there that people have. So many misconceptions about things. we're souls, okay? We are but endowed with the spark of the divine, okay? And we are, as it were, in incarnate. We are incarnate in this body, but we have a higher body around us that we're in at the same time. We're like in layers of an onion. So there's this layer, there's another layer and another layer. So different layers of finer and finer degree, and they all function in different ways. And we, so we keep around ourselves a mind field, a field of mental energy. We have our thoughts, you know. They're different from emotions. Emotions are emotion, energy in motion. Emotions are not like thinking. Emotions are reactions to things. That's what emotions are. Energy in motion. It's a reaction to something. So emotion is not the same thing as thinking. Of course when she's dead, yes. What do you mean? Nothing's dead. You know, I hate that word, dead. It's silly. It's a joke to us. You know, the dead this, the dead... When I say that, it's a joke. If I reference, you know, to me it's just funny. It's a joke. There's nothing dies. Nothing. Well, shadow people. They look like shadows to you. They don't look like shadows to me. All this stuff about shadow people is because they can't see them very well. So they look like shadows. Westing. Death is an initiation. Being born and dying are initiations. It's a transition and an initiation into a different realm. Look at the earth as another realm. Okay? Just a different realm. Like going fishing on a boat. You're mostly on land and you go fishing for a day. And then you come back to shore. You get off the boat, and the boat was your body. So, you know, you don't go, oh, that boat. No, it's just a boat. I'll get another boat. I'll go out tomorrow on another boat. You see? So, there's no death. You never die. You cannot get rid of yourself. This is the crazy thing about suicide. People think they're going to get rid of themselves and end all their problems. But you can't. You cannot get rid of yourself. It's an sit there. Just sit down and try and get rid of yourself. Imagine that you will always be there looking. You observing. And who is that? You. Who are you? The big question you all have to ask yourselves is, what am I? Who am I? What am I? This is the biggest question that a human being can ask themselves. What is God? What am I? Who am I? What am I? That's what Buddhists do. That's what they spend their life doing. Well, that's the purpose of it. That's what Buddha taught anyway. So did Jesus, actually, but Jesus had a different approach. Jesus approached everything through love. And actually that's higher than the approach Buddhists had. The Buddhist approach is more of an intellectual approach. You have to use the mind to go beyond the mind. You see? By pure rational thought, pure reason. Now most people, they don't have the reasoning capacity to do it. So they fail at it. You see? Finding where my vision fit has been bugging me. I can't read it all. It disappeared again.
I used to just let it go, and when it happened, it just did. Now,
I don't know what you mean by your vision. I don't know what you mean. You know, you've got to be really specific, clear. Um, you know, one of the most difficult things about doing this is the more you know, the harder it is to talk about this stuff. You've got to understand, I've been doing this and studying and thinking about all this all my life, since I was like 14, 15. And when I was, when I was like 12, 13, I thought I would find the answers to everything. I really did. I just had a belief that I would find out the truth, the answers. And that's nearly 45 years of this stuff. Oh, I answered deja vu. Deja vu is a lot of different, it can be a few different things. Deja vu could be you left your body one night, you went somewhere in your astral body that you were going to go, that you're going to go to in a week or a year's time, and then a year later you go there and you go, wow, this feels familiar. Well, you already went there astrally. Or it's a past life memory, and you go to a place that you remember from a previous life and you go, wow, this looks a bit different, or this, I recognize this place, So deja vu can be a few different things. But, so it was a good question, yeah.
sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis is when you are leaving your body astrally. Every single time you sleep, you leave your body, in your astral body. You might only go out a tiny bit. If you, within a certain range, about 12 feet, you can't move your physical body. So when you are astrally projecting, even if it's a tiny bit, or within about 12 feet, the astral body is being moved subconsciously, and during that process, until it's out of cord, the umbilical cord, the cord that connects it to the physical. So when you're leaving your body, it's quite thick, and once it's outside of about 12 feet, then you're able to gain control of the astral consciously, if you can do it consciously, and you can move around, but the physical body remains sort of paralyzed while you're out. You understand? And you can't move it. And this whole thing about, I feel like somebody's on top of me and they're holding me down, that's usually the astral body coming back in, and you're aware of that astral body while you're asleep, and it can feel like somebody else on top of you, but it's not. It's actually your body coming back in. So there's a lot of this. There's books this thick on it. It's on astral projection. You've got to study it. There's a lot of things that go on in astral projection that would answer a lot of your questions. I still have only 20. There's only 20 people on here. This is ridiculous. I think I'm going to stop in a minute.
I think a lot of your physical health has to do with why you can't mesh right away.
Oh, well, that's Marty's theory anyway.
Well,
She's sticking to it.
I've changed my diet and I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, well, obviously, lots of physical things affect projection, and this is a whole subject. I'm not going to get into the whole subject. There's books on astral projection. I've posted things about these books so that you can read them. You have to study. You're not going to learn everything by simply asking question after question. You have to read books. You have to study. You have to really, really study. I've read Blavatsky's books. They're like this thick. They're volumes and volumes. I've read all the theosophical literature, I'll have to show you my books one day. I've read a lot and studied a lot. And but you have to apply it too. You have to actually do it and have experiences. Otherwise, it's just book learning. It's just, oh, well, I don't remember that. I read that, but I don't remember. So what? So what? At the end of the day, it's only what you can apply that matters, and what what you can remember and apply. If you don't do that, it's a waste of time. You're just wasting your time. No, your soul's not vulnerable. No, no. Study, guys. You've got to read. You've got to study. It's God. People are lazy, I'm not saying you guys, but a lot of people, they're just extremely lazy. They don't read. They have no discernment. You have to have discernment. You have to really think and really discern what is real, what isn't real. And leave your mind open while you're doing it, so that you can think, well, maybe I didn't have that quite right. This, knowing what to read can be a challenge. You're right. I've collected a lot of books that are really good books, where you don't have to question everything that the person says. Most, 90% of it is absolutely accurate and true. There are older books, unfortunately, because a lot of the newer books are written by people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, I was trying to read. Life is about experiencing things. Yes, it is. And applying it. There's too much info on mindfulness. Yeah, well, what I want to do, one of the things I want to do maybe daily for a very short time, is a little meditation exercise. Teach you guys how to meditate. Because I get all these questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? What is meditation? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, you have to know how to meditate. So what I'm going to do is show you how you do meditation. That's what I'm going to do on here. Okay? And I'll do it daily. So that, because not everybody's going to get on. Maybe different times people get on, so they can catch it, and we'll just do it every day. And I'll show you how to meditate, what meditation is, and I'll explain it and go into it. So that's one of the things I'll do on here, okay? Because it's very important. Because if you can't do that, if you can't even concentrate for very long, then anything else is forget it. You're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, that's fine, Amy. Hi. I'm just hanging out for a while, just talking about stuff. I know you missed some stuff on here, but no worries.
Should we listen to it again?
Yeah, you can listen to it again. I'll just post it. I think that's the best thing I can do for you guys, is to teach you some meditation exercises, some energy exercises, like how to really pray, how to move energy, how to invoke energy, how to do this sort of thing. That's like giving somebody a fishing rod so they can catch their own fish. The rest of it is simply, it's just more beneficial. It'd be better for you. People have such a tiny attention span these days. They're so easily distracted. It's one of my favorite jokes, is it's this image this cartoonist made. And there's a whole bunch of guys assaulting a castle. They're all running across the drawbridge, and he's looking down in the moat, and he's like, "Oh look, goldfish, goldfish!" Everybody, look, goldfish. And I'm like, that's how I see people in life. They're like, la, 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 oh yeah, look at that. La, 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 oh, look, oh, God. People cannot concentrate for very long at all on anything. So is it little wonder that they achieve so little? So I'm going to teach you how to meditate, how to concentrate. Meditation, it begins like this. You have to learn to concentrate. You have to be able to concentrate your mind. So that we'll begin with that, and I'll show you some techniques that to begin, so you can get a hold of your mind. You have to be able to control your mind and thoughts completely and utterly. If you can't do that, you can't meditate at all. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look, shiny thing. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's what people like. Like, how's you? Oh, look at that. It's like, hey, excuse me. We were just having a conversation. We were just trying to, that's what it's like.
What'd you say?
She said, what'd you say? Yeah, Buddhist monks have great concentration. They really know how to concentrate. And Western society doesn't teach kids how to do that. You notice that kids and people find it easy to concentrate on things they like, but they can't concentrate on things they don't like. That shows a weak mind. Yes, squirrel, squirrel mind. Yeah, it's true. Oh, anyway. ADD, attention deficit disorder, the guy that came up with that, apparently on his deathbed, said he just made it up. It's a bunch of nonsense. So I don't believe in attention deficit disorder. I think what it is simply people are not trained from like they used to be as kids. They're not disciplined. You understand? A discipline, a very necessary thing. You have to be disciplined. You have to know how to be disciplined, and people are not these days. Their parents don't even teach them that because they don't know what discipline is. Our society's falling apart because people don't know how to focus. They're not disciplined. I'll tell you a funny little thing before I go. When I went to school, they used to use the cane, a bamboo cane. And the headmaster in my high school, he had a whole cabinet on the wall with 6 canes in there. I was a bit of a rowdy student. Well, not rowdy, but let's say I used to leave school. They call it bunking off. So I used to get out of school every opportunity I could. I couldn't stand it sometimes. I was out one day with a friend of mine, a great big guy, and we got caught, and we got sent to the headmaster's office. And I still had a couple of books with me, a flexible math book or something, And he was going to go in first, and the door was open, and I could see the case with all the canes, and the headmaster, he's getting them out and he's whacking them on the table, testing them out, putting the fear of God into my mate and me. But I gave my flexible book to my friend and I said, "Here, stick this down your pants." So he stuffed it down his arse and he went in and I hear whack, and half of the master's cane came flying out the door. His best cane, smashed it on my mate's arse. Came flying out the door. Of course, I didn't have a book, so I got the brunt of it. He was so angry that his cane broke. Pretty funny shit. But anyway. All right, well, look, I'm going to get off for now. I think what I'll do is the meditation class is really what I want to do on here with you guys. So I'll try and do that on a daily basis. Just short, like 15, 20 minutes maybe. And try and do that daily to get people into doing meditation. I will do a follow-up on early days. I was going to do it today, but I'm a bit too tired for that. So I'll do a follow-up when how I really got involved with my teacher and where I really started to learn all this stuff. Okay? Anyway, love you guys. I'm going to go now.